Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it has been a hot minute since I have done a video. That's kind of what I wanted this one to be about. It's a little bit different. It's not really Disney related, even though I do have my Mickey Mouse sweatshirt on, and I have my Frozen Collector's Cup that we saw Frozen 2 today in theaters. Highly recommend. This is more of just a kind of where I've been and what's been going on. I guess long story short, I've been sick. I've been ill. I am better now. I am recovering pretty much fully already. But through being this sick with something this particular, I've learned a lot, and there's some changes I'm making, and I kind of just wanted to share that with all you in case there's anybody out there that's kind of done the same thing or been through the same thing. It's rough. Just a quick recap. Probably 3 to 4 months ago, I had what I thought was a stomach ulcer. I've had one before years ago. I know exactly what it feels like. I know the sensations. I know the things that make it worse. And those things are too much caffeine, too much acid, alcohol, high fat chocolate, too much like ibuprofen, over the counter NSAIDs, that kind of thing. Anyway, and stress, especially stress, really can bring on an ulcer. It's all due to a particular bacteria that is produced in your gut, and so I thought that's what it was. It's very familiar, and I knew how to handle it at home. So I kind of started making those changes, and I really slacked off of the coffee, and I really was being a little bit more mindful about what I was eating, and I was taking probiotics, which are supposed to kind of rebalance out all that bad bacteria with good, and all those things. So I knew what to do based on what I thought this was, and it was the exact same pain and sensation as what I had had years ago. So anyway, it wasn't getting better, it was actually starting to get worse. So I got to the point where I had pretty much completely cut out coffee, was trying really hard to not have to take any type of over-the-counter pain medication. If I had a headache or a backache or something, just finding other methods that would help alleviate that pain. So after a couple months, I'm married to a nurse. My baby sister is a nurse. So I think after some ample time of it not getting better, it was very much like, okay, it's time to go in and talk to the doctor. I knew he would probably put me on antibiotics. I just didn't really want to go that route. I'm not antibiotic. I think they're kind of a necessary evil, but I'm all for trying things naturally first, or with changes in diet and supplements. And if that works, awesome. And if it doesn't, then yes, it's time to go in and get some stronger firepower. So anyway, went in. He did not seem to think that it was an ulcer, even though the symptoms were very similar to what he had treated me for years ago for the ulcer. So he decided to put me on, at first he thought it was gastritis, so he just put me on an acid reducing medication, and he was like, if it's gastritis, after 2 or 3 days of taking this, you'll feel amazing. And just for good measure, he did go ahead and take some blood. He was a little suspicious of my gallbladder, either being inflamed or just being overly sensitive, or maybe even, I don't know, gallstones, I'm not sure. But I didn't have excruciating pain. I wasn't running fever. I was still functioning, getting up and going to work. I was waking up in pain. I was going to bed in pain. I had pain before I ate. I had pain before after I ate. I was, excuse me, my stomach was extremely distended, and it was just like air. It was like someone had just pumped air into my abdomen. It wasn't gas. It didn't move. It never let up or alleviated. And I had a lot of discomfort and pain directly under my sternum, in between like the rib cage. But once again, if you look up, all those symptoms are ulcer symptoms, as well as a plethora of other things. So the third day I had been taking this stuff for the gastrics, he called and he said, "You're not feeling better, are you?" And I said, "Actually, I'm not. I'll be honest with you, I'm not." And he said, "That's because we got your blood test back, and you have a bacterial infection that just sort of has taken over your stomach and your gut and your intestines and all that." And so I was like, okay, at least I know now it's not an ulcer, and it's not just gastritis. There is an infection going on, which is probably why it was not, getting better with what I was doing at home. So unfortunately, the infection was really bad, and it was an infection of the bacteria H. pylori. And if you're familiar with ulcers or even stomach issues, you have heard that term before. So he put me on a regimen of 3 different antibiotics for 14 days. I took 8 pills a day for 14 days. I took like 112 pills in a span of 2 weeks. This was the worst 2 weeks ever. And he warned me, he said, you're going to feel bad with these meds. You're going to feel really bad. The side effects are rough, and what it's having to do to your body in order to fight how bad the infection is, you're gonna feel it. And I thought, okay, so I was semi-prepared, not as prepared as I wish I would have been. The first couple of days I was lucky enough to take them. It was a weekend, and I'm not even kidding you, spent that weekend on the couch in tears. An immediate headache from the back of your head up to your neck around to the front, extreme nausea, like if you move too fast you're gonna throw up, and on top of that, abdominal pain and discomfort, which I was already having, and it was just now multiplied times 10. Getting through work days was really hard. I was like eating ginger chews and drinking tea to keep me from being nauseated. I was having to put my head down on my desk for certain times when that pain would come. But after about a week, I learned I could watch the clock, and about 40 minutes after I'd taken my morning dose, all the pain would come, the headache, the abdominal pain, the nausea, but it lasted about an hour to 2 hours. So I knew if I started feeling really bad at 10, that by noon, those symptoms would kind of dissipate. The only thing that was rough was by the time I felt halfway decent in the afternoon, it was time for the evening dose. 4 pills in the morning, 4 pills at night. You get the idea. So sleeping did not happen. I basically set up in our guest room, here in this room, for that full 2 weeks because I was hurting so bad and so sick and up and down, and it helps me sometimes to have the TV on in the background as a distraction when I can't rest. And so my husband still, he still had to get up and go to work. So I basically lived in the guest room for those 2 weeks, on top of which at that time my husband had come down with a very bad cold, turned into bronchitis, settled in his chest. We were just a mess for a while. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with my hair. It's just kind of bugging me. So through all this, I'm one of those people, I do my research, I do my homework, I read about what can I do in my daily life to not put myself in this situation again. And I knew it was going to be food related things and stress related things. And so I had told myself, once I was finished with the antibiotics, they don't want you to exercise, they don't want you to take probiotics, they don't want you to take anything that's going to possibly combat these antibiotics from just completely wiping out the infection. And I knew it was doing what it had to do, but I also hated what I knew it was doing to my body. It was getting rid of everything good in me in order to get rid of the bad, which was really bad. So I started to prepare a few days before I was done with the meds, and I got my probiotic supplements. I got some digestive enzymes. I got on a supplement that's actually good for your gallbladder, just in case it was a gallbladder thing. He still wants to see me for a follow-up probably next week to make sure it is not the gallbladder, as well as the as what the infection was doing. Good fermented foods and drinks, and so I have my collectibles frozen cup. I have kombucha. It's a naturally fermented drink, and I have done my research, y'all. I'm not just gonna go crazy on all these high fermented foods. I'm doing this at a very balanced, even keel. I have supplements, and then I have certain foods that I'm gonna eat throughout the week, and kombucha, just a little each day, not a whole lot. Rounding out what I need to do. So I've been 1 full week off of the antibiotics, and I feel like a different person. I feel almost like my old self from early this year, because I didn't realize how long I was just dealing with that pain. It was just discomfort, and it's not enough to make you feel like you need to go to the doctor, but it's like I don't remember what it was like anymore to not have it, to not feel that discomfort and pain and have issues before I ate and every time I ate and all that. So I feel good. I don't know if I look like I feel better, but I feel better. I feel much, much better. I think I feel even better just being off the medication, because even a couple of days after finishing it, I still had stomach pain, and I thought, well, gosh, I'm still hurting and I finished these horrible meds. What's wrong with me? But by the fourth or fifth day, everything just dissipated. And that's probably why my doctor wanted to wait a week to be sure the medicine was out of my system, because of all the side effects it does leave behind in the body. So I was very excited to be done with it. I now can get back to doing things that help me keep my stress low, which for me is like Pilates or walking or exercise. I take probiotics every morning, and in the morning I have to take a certain probiotic at night that does kind of help me rest. Like I said, my kombucha, kind of incorporating things like, sorry guys, I'm drawing a blank here, like green tea, which I've always drank, which is good for you. Sauerkraut, certain types of vegetables and greens that are known to encourage the growth of good bacteria and to kind of stifle the growth of H. pylori. Everyone has a little H. pylori in their body. I think just because I've already had an ulcer and I had this infection, my body just must be very susceptible to that, and it must not take much to grow that particular bacteria. Another problem I had, which I didn't know was just making myself worse, was acidic things, and coffee was top of the list. They're like, if you suffer from this or have ever suffered from this, get off the coffee. It's not your friend. And I love coffee. I do. My intake had definitely increased since this year. We've just had a lot going on. We bought a house, we got a dog, and I was drinking the Trenta size from Starbucks. You Starbucks people will know that's actually bigger than the Venti. And it was too much. That was just too much. And I was letting myself get stressed out over certain things that I should have just let go, that aren't in my control. Not being as mindful about what I was eating, because when you have the gallbladder and the infection, or one or other or both, high fat foods just make it flare up, but so do high sugar foods. So basically, anything that's fun to eat hurt me so bad. And, while I'm eating it, I'm like, I don't care, it's worth it. And then afterwards I was like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I haven't really tested the theory since I've been off the medicine. I have been very diligent in eating the good foods. I don't want to say I've gone Whole30. I've just kind of gone what I'll call Whole30-ish. Just that idea of healthier swaps and many more whole foods. Just food out of the ground, not frozen, not in a can. A bunch of potatoes, sweet potatoes, and parsnips and carrots and onions and spaghetti squash and good spinach and lettuces and heads of broccoli. And we've been adventurous. We've tried a lot of new things. So that was a challenge, but it was fun. And it's lovely to know that when I eat those foods, I don't pay for it. I don't have pain in the morning after I've had my healthy breakfast, and I don't struggle with having, leftover chicken and roasted sweet potatoes. And it's starting to really sink in what's worth it to me and what's not. And even the last week, we have gone out to eat a couple of times, and that's hard for me because I always feel like eating out is my chance to splurge, because we don't eat out all that often, maybe once a week. But even when I went out, I was a little bit fearful and apprehensive, and I still am. I opted for the grilled chicken and salad and veggie thing. So am I going to indulge again? Am I going to splurge again? Absolutely. We have a vacation coming up, but between now and our vacation, I really want to get my body and my mind in a good, strong, healthy place, and just learn, don't use up those good feelings and that good health for like a Happy Meal or something. I'm a lot more choosy about where I eat my junk food and my splurges and my treats. I mean, even the sweets. I found some recipes for some chocolate chip pumpkin muffins. Made those were awesome. I really love Fig Newtons, and I found a healthier version at a health food store. So like I said before, not really Whole30, but some of the concepts, making healthier swaps, getting rid of certain items in our house and replacing them with the healthier equivalent of, better honey, more oats, bringing in many more nuts, almonds, walnuts, that kind of thing. Just those kinds of swaps. I haven't ever really baked much, and I do a little bit now, but I use whole wheat flour. I don't really have white flour. I haven't bought anything white in a long time. So it's just, you know, it's gradual, but I love how I feel. So it's kind of like, it's enough to keep me doing it and being careful. I'm sorry, my dog is right outside the door. So anyway, kombucha was another one of those things. Back to the coffee. I had just resigned myself that I could have it, but it's going to have to be on rare occasions, and I'm only going to have to stick to, you know, like the grande size, which if you ask me is ridiculous. It's gotten smaller and smaller. But I actually got online, and there is a low acid half calf coffee out there, y'all. I wish I had the bag. I've already poured it into my containers. It's not bad, and after you have not had coffee for as long as I had, it tastes wonderful. I mean, to my husband, it's kind of like very weak brown water, but you could easily cut it with other grounds. I just didn't know if that existed, and I was so relieved to see there's something out there like that. It's like 70% reduced acid. It's got more, I think, antioxidants than green tea, and I chose the half caffeinated. You can buy the full calf with the low acid, but I just didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to tempt anything to make anything worse. But I missed my coffee. I missed my coffee so much. But being off of it so long, I think I appreciate now having even just a little bit of it that tastes something, you know, somewhat like it. So anyways, needless to say, during those 2 weeks, I did nothing but go to work, come home, and go to bed. It was a struggle. Every single day was a struggle. I am so glad to be off the medicine. I like I said, I do have a follow-up, but I have absolutely no pain and no discomfort anymore, which tells me I don't think it's a gallbladder thing. I think if it was my gallbladder, I would still be having some issues, and I'm not. So, it's funny because this is not even like about weight loss. I think when you kind of when you see a direct connection to how you feel with what you've put in, it's kind of eye-opening, and it should be, you know, it shouldn't just be about I have to diet. I don't like that word. I do not like that word. Ladies, stop using the word diet. If you even have to just use the word change, just some changes we're doing, just some new things we're trying. Don't use the word diet. It has such a negative umbrella over it, and people tend to shut down, and even at social functions, because the holidays are coming up, and I've already been a little bit worried about how am I going to do this. I don't want to be one of those people that sits there at the table and goes, I can't have that, and everyone gives them the side eye. I have been one of those people that judged other people for that, but this is not about being skinny or losing weight. This is literally so I do not go back to that horrible place I was and in so much pain. And so yes, you shouldn't care, you shouldn't let those things bother you, but you also want to feel that you can celebrate and enjoy your life and enjoy food. So for me, it's more of just, yes, I can have all those things, but which do I want to pick and choose to enjoy? And so I'm more or less just, it's, you know, it's the general rule of thumb. If you can start out with some veggies or a salad first, it does kind of fill you halfway, so you don't feel the need to just like gorge on a massive bowl of broccoli, cheese, and rice or whatever. So I kind of start like that. I start a little salad of veggie, then I have some meat, turkey, ham, it's all good, and then that usually has only left room for maybe a roll and a spoon of something else. And when you think about it, that's not bad, you know. So it's just, like I said, this is, sorry, I'm tired. This is directly how I feel. It's got nothing to do with my weight. If my weight reduces, awesome. And a lot of my distension and bloating did go down after I got off the medicine. And that was a big symptom of just the infection. So I was relieved. I was grateful for that. But it's a very kind of in your face thing when you eat something bad and within an hour, it's like you pay for it. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm almost grateful, because I think, okay, if I put this in my mouth, and is it worth the stomach ache? Is it worth all that? Now, to be honest, I don't know if that's going to happen to me. My mom told me just last night I needed to test it. I needed to go out somewhere and eat, you know, like something that has high fat, just so that I could tell my doctor I went and had a fattier meal or something in high sugar, and to see what it does to me. Ugh, I know I need to. I just can't wrap my brain around that right now. I feel good, and the food I'm putting in makes me feel good. So it's very hard to think about doing that, but I'm going to. Maybe I'll have like a Happy Meal or something, chicken strips or whatever. Something that would used to hurt me. I need to find out if it still does or not. But, you know, I'm looking at this as a good thing. It's going to be very, very much cut out how often I eat just bad things here and there and snack, and even the things I snack on. I like to snack. I love to snack. But you know, just choose some different ones, choose some better ones. That's why I don't use the word diet, because I'm just choosing better. That's all it is. I'm not going on a diet, because going on a diet, to me, that implies that at some point you will go back to doing what you did before. Diet implies temporary and only for now, and that's not what this is about. And I don't even really like the word lifestyle change, because people don't like change. Let's be honest, y'all. No one likes change. And so I just like to say it as, I'm just choosing differently, seeing how it goes. And so far it's going really well. Will I still indulge in the Christmas Little Debbie cakes at my mom's? Absolutely. Will I have more than one in a day like I used to? No. The old me would get up and have one with a cup of coffee, and then probably have one after lunch, and then have an evening one with more coffee. So you get the idea, y'all. Have it, enjoy it, just monitor it. You know, it's not a diet, it's not a restriction. Just be mindful of it, you know. So learned a whole lot in the very short time of 2 weeks, and I'm really glad to be doing all the things that get my body back. Like I said, I'm not anti-medicine and anti-antibiotics, but I have never felt so bad in my whole life than I did when on those meds. And so I was like, okay, as soon as I'm done, I was a good patient. I followed doctor's orders. I didn't exercise. I didn't take anything else that would combat what they were trying to do. And now I can get back to doing what I need to do for it. So anyways, that's why I have not done a thing on YouTube or social media, and not that that's a bad thing. I thought, you know, it's kind of good to unplug, but I do miss doing Disney videos. We have a trip coming up. It is so close, and the holidays are coming around. Excuse me. And I have a lot of new recipes I would love to show y'all, of these new things that I'm trying that we love in our house. I'm really hoping to get a camera. I would like to splurge by myself a camera. I really would like to bring some of this more into my kitchen. My kitchen is my focal point. It is where I am, like I said, getting my body back on track, and where hopefully I will help myself from slipping back into those behaviors that obviously I have a tendency to not be able to fight off that bacteria very well. And that's just me. You know, some people may not have that issue at all, but anyway, so I'm excited to be coming back to YouTube. I am so glad to be feeling better right before the holidays. And to all my family and friends, thank you so much for all the prayers. I know everybody was thinking about me and checking on me, and I have literally not seen like I haven't seen my sisters in like 2-3 weeks. For me, that is a long time, y'all. I've literally felt that bad. And so I'm so grateful, so grateful to the good Lord for my family and my friends and my husband, who just knew this is what it was going to be, and he just had to just be there and just watch it and watch me deal with it, you know. And so it's one of those things, like anything else, you know, right after you've learned a very hard lesson, it's fresh, and you're excited and you're pumped to make better choices and to not slip back into it. But it's so easy to forget once you feel better what got you there. And I'm not saying I gave myself the infection. No, you get the infection from improperly prepared food, coming in contact with someone who is, not trying to be gross, you guys, who has just used the restroom and did not wash their hands thoroughly. It is that easy to get. So I'm probably thinking from a restaurant I got, or maybe I wasn't diligent one day and didn't wash my hands as much, and I meet people off the street all the time where I work in my office. So there's just really no telling. But I was doing lots of things that were only making that bacteria just thrive and grow and explode and take over. Was not doing the things that keep it, you know, controlled and at bay, and you know, that kind of thing. So anyways, my hope and prayer going forward is that I don't lose this enthusiasm I have for how good I feel, and seeing the direct connection between how I feel and what I'm putting into my body and the things I'm doing for myself. I've always been more health, I don't want to say minded, but my mom got sick many years ago, and we made a lot of overhaul changes in our house, and so I have learned a lot from her and watching what she's gone through, and I've implemented a lot of those things in my daily life. But it just goes to show, something as simple as getting the bacteria from somewhere else, and you know, too many over-the-counter pain medications and too much coffee, and there you are. It was as innocent as that. It's, you know, I wasn't out drinking and smoking, and I was eating bad, but not every single day. So it just goes to show, even someone who is trying to be fairly proactive, sometimes, y'all, it just happens. It just happens. And so this is more or less for me to continue on with what I'm doing. I don't want to fast forward in 3 months and realize I've just let all this go to the wayside, because now I feel great. You know, it's so easy to forget those things where you were before, and that, I think that just applies to life. You come through anything difficult, and you swear you'll remember it, and you swear you're going to be different or what have you, and things just start to float along, and it's wonderful, and it's just so easy to backslide and just slip, you know. I'm not saying that's, you know, not a bad thing that you slip, but for me, I want to always remember this feeling and how I have felt this week, and what I felt like the last 2 weeks, and then the last 3 months before that. It's like I almost forgot what it was like to not wake up in pain and go to bed in pain and dread eating, really, before, during, and after, you know, to just have problems with it. So anyway, I feel much better. I'm back to doing some house projects. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm looking at my timer. Y'all have been with me for 26 minutes. Kudos. I appreciate this so much. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But needless to say, I do have some fun Disney videos coming up. I want to show you all the items that I've started stashing for our trip. I want to tell you about all the new things we're going to do on this trip. This is a trip my husband surprised me with when I was feeling really bad before I had gone to the doctor. Y'all probably saw that little video clip. And so we have a lot that we, you know, want to share with you guys. And like I said, I'm really hoping if I can manage to get in the kitchen, I want to show y'all some new things that have tried, that we enjoy, that we like, that maybe you could add to your recipe book, or if you're in the search for just newer and better you know, food things or whatever. I am big into essential oils. Hey, don't knock it if you don't know anything about it. I do like them. I've actually learned lately how to cook with certain essential oils, and I'm really enjoying that too. I am being careful. I've read the warnings. I have done my homework. I have done my research. I know how to, I'm being very cautious. I don't want anybody out there to be like, Christina, you can't do that. Don't do that. I'm doing the research. I promise. I'm being careful. So anyways, guys, I hope to see you guys again really soon. I am so glad to be back. I'm so glad to be feeling better. And if you have had this infection before or gone through anything similar, please put a comment, question down below. I would love to hear your story. And if you're out there, I hope you're doing better. Maybe things that you did after coming off of very heavy antibiotics that you know helped replenish your body. Definitely let me know. Like I said, I'm doing everything from all aspects, drinks, supplements, food, getting all the good stuff back into me to replenish myself. So anyways, guys, appreciate you so much for watching. Like I said, so grateful to be back, to be feeling better. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching again. Bye.